everyone's having an amazing day today. Today I wanted to do a relatively quick video about my favorite foundations. And I guess I should say favorite complexion products because some of them are, well, one of them is a tinted moisturizer, so it's not exactly a foundation. And I'm gonna do my top 5, and then I'm gonna have an honorable mention in here as well. And today, I'll put everything down below about what I'm currently wearing. I didn't film this particular look. It's a little bit more involved than some of the ones that I've done recently, but I am testing out the new Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate foundation. And so far, I do like it. It's a little bit heavier coverage than I usually use, but it reminds me actually of one of my favorite foundations that I'm gonna talk about today. So we'll go through that. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first one today, I'm gonna start with the lightest coverage and move up. So the first one is the Lumiere. See if my camera will actually focus in on that, and hopefully it does. And if not, well, I'll just do a picture of it. But it's the Lumiere Reparative Skin Tint. And there are a couple things about this particular product. I love it. It works really well for me. I use it. It's basically a tinted moisturizer. I use it on a daily basis when I'm running around, when I'm not doing a full makeup look. It works really well for a day-to-day, casual, no makeup kind of thing. But a couple things. It comes in 4 shades. 4. And 2 of those shades are very fair and light. So, which, to be honest with you, I did not know when I first picked this up, and I wouldn't recommend it in general across the board on my channel because of the very poor shade range. But I will say this, it doesn't really have coverage. It's almost like just a glow. So I don't know if the darker shades would work on somebody who has particularly darker skin. It would be hard for me to be able to tell. I do the very fair, and my skin is actually not very fair. My skin is light, but it's not very fair. So it's possible because it doesn't have a lot of coverage. In fact, it doesn't really have any coverage. It's more like a glow, more like almost like a primer, if you will. I mean, in fact, they say that you can use it as a primer underneath their other foundations. Maybe that's their excuse. I still think 4 shades is kind of ridiculous. But anyway, it has an SPF of 40 and it's $95, so it is expensive. It's 1.4 fluid ounces. I've had this for a very long time. Like I said, I use it pretty much every day that I don't wear makeup. One, it has an SPF in it, which is SPF 30, so I can easily put it on and walk out the door if I'm really, really busy, or I can put it in my bag. And it just sort of gives you like a skin perfecting. It's not really coverage, if you will. But I do really enjoy it, and it doesn't have a scent that I've noticed. It doesn't irritate my skin. It doesn't cover up my rosacea or anything like that, but it does give me a nice smoothing, blurring effect. Number 2 is the Surratt Dew Drop, which came out last year in the fall. And, I've seen actually a couple of creators talk about this foundation, and some absolutely love it, and others have said it's the worst thing ever. So it's really interesting. I mean, I think that's true with a lot of products, but this one I've seen really a big split from one side to the other. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of people in the middle on this one. I'm in shade 3. There are 20 shades, so it's a decent shade range. It's a very small amount of product. It's about 67 ounces, 0.67, so not even a full ounce. It's $75, and again, it's the Surratt Dew Drop foundation. It's very light coverage, very light, and it gives a very dewy dewdrop, very dewy, radiant finish. Again, for me, it works really well because I am not doing most of the time this type of look. I don't wear a full face of makeup every day. When I'm doing business trips or business meetings, I do wear a semi-full face of makeup, but it's not this, intricate. So the lighter coverage actually works really well for me. Plus, again, I've said this before in my other videos, I have mature skin, and so I have lines, wrinkles, I have rosacea, I have very dry skin. So the lighter dewy finish I think just works well for me. For me, most of the time, if I try to do a fuller coverage makeup, it actually makes my skin look worse. It makes me look older. It doesn't actually make me look better. So, you know, I think the dewier, lighter finish works for someone with my type of skin. It might not work for you. Number 3 is going to be, I think the next, in terms of coverage, from light to, none of these are full coverage. I would say they're all, the highest end is gonna be like a medium, maybe could be full coverage if you really built it, but not really. So this is the Sisley, and this is the anti-aging foundation. This is the most expensive foundation that I'm talking, that's my favorite. It's $170. I know, it's a lot. But it actually is skincare and foundation in one. So it's got a lot of properties that you would use in the Sisley skincare line, which I use some of their products. I really like a lot of the Sisley moisturizers and masks. I think are fantastic. So when my skin is being fussy and when my rosacea is acting up, or I feel like my skin is not as supple looking, that is what I use, and it works really, really well. I'm 1.B as in boy, Ivory. That's about it's 1 ounce. It kind of gives you like a plumping, radiant look. It's a little bit more coverage. I'd say it's a medium coverage. It's not full coverage. I think you could probably build it up, but I would still say medium coverage at the most. Again though, it has 8 shades. So there aren't a lot of options for folks that are on the darker spectrum. And not only that, I am 1B Ivory, and it's a little dark for me. The color below that, which is I think 0R or 0B, I can't remember, guys, but it's like too yellow for me. So it's not even the perfect skin color match for me. They really need, if Sisley ever gets to see this video, I love all your products, but you need more shades in everything that you do. But the foundation does work really well for me, and it does make my skin look plumper and radiant, and it does make me look, it is an anti-aging foundation. I mean, it works extremely well for me. Next is the Lumiere, again, another Lumiere product, but this is Lumiere Soft Fluid Foundation. This is $120. It is 1 ounce. It comes in 28 shades, so better shade range. I know some of the newer issues have, 40, 50 shades, which is fantastic. But this one is decent. It's buildable. It's a luminous foundation, definitely medium. Again, it has the Lumiere Miracle Broth ingredients. It's very good for my skin. I like the Lumiere cream. Again, my skin is very, very dry, so I use the original Lumiere cream when my skin is particularly difficult. So this foundation works really well for me. It's actually my favorite all-around foundation if I'm going to do foundation, and I'm not gonna do a tinted moisturizer, and I'm not gonna do something very, very light like the Surratt. I reach for the Lumiere most of the time. So it is my favorite. And I can tell you, like, I use it pretty regularly. You can see that bottle's a little bit more empty than the other ones. And even though it's $120, so this has lasted me like a year. I mean, I don't even know how long the shelf life is. But I can't throw that away. It's too expensive and I haven't used enough of it. Okay, so the last one on my top 5 is a relatively new, in fact, very new to my list. And this you might have heard some things about lately because a lot of people I've heard sing its praises. It's the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Foundation. And this is $45, so this is the least expensive on my list. And the only reason I have it at number 5, frankly, and not ranked higher, is I just haven't been using it as long, so I don't have as an in-depth perspective on how it works and how it wears. and how it affects my skin. My skin is very sensitive. I have allergic reactions to everything. I have rosacea. My skin's dry. So I think this is absolutely fantastic and might rival the Lumiere, but I haven't used it long enough to be able to say that with confidence, and I don't want to say that to all of you and then you use it and 3 weeks in you're like, yeah, but it starts to do whatever. So, but I think it is a great foundation. It comes in 20 shades. The color that I use is 1N2 Ecru. It has an SPF of 45, so that's much higher than the rest of them. And I think it gives a medium coverage. It could probably even give, I'm not gonna say full coverage, but it could be a medium to full coverage if you built it up. It's a skin-like look. It's very radiant. So if you like a very matte, none of these are mattes. Again, my skin's dry, so matte is not something I've ever wanted to achieve because that's kind of how it looks just normally, And mattes tend to get in my lines. It doesn't look as good for what my skin problems are. So that one is really good and I really enjoy it. And again, it's $45. So if you look at this list and you're like, yeah, these are all great, Jen, but they're, $100 in the $100 range and more, and this one's $45. And in fact, the Tom Ford that I'm trying out right now, the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate, I have heard folks say it's very similar to the Estee Lauder. Estee Lauder does own Tom Ford, so there could be some reasons there. But if the Tom Ford, it's a beautiful bottle, and I love Tom Ford, but if the Tom Ford and the Estee Lauder are basically the same, and I don't know that yet, but if they are, the Estee Lauder is $45, and the Tom Ford, I could be wrong, but I think it's around the same price as the Sisley, like it's 150 or 170. So, you do the math, the Estee Lauder's a lot less expensive. And if it's the same or very close to the same, glass bottle's pretty, but I mean, how much do you want to pay for a glass bottle? Maybe you do, maybe you won't, and then that's okay too. So that's my top 5, but I do want to mention my honorable mention, and it's the Tom Ford Traceless Foundation Stick. And I've put this in my travel ready, easy makeup video that I did. I'm a 1.5 cream. I can also wear a 2.0 buff. Yeah, I can do either one. The 1.5 works a little better for me in the stick. And what I would say about this is it's just really easy. It's really convenient. It's 0.5 ounces, but it's a stick. And again, I haven't gone through a lot of it. It gives a really good skin-like radiant look. I really enjoy it. I think it's great for travel. It's easy because it's in a stick, and it gives an excellent finish. It looks really pretty on my skin. It's one of the few stick foundations that I can use because the other ones are too mattifying, or I don't feel like they give me enough hydration. There's a few others that do, but for the most part, the Tom Ford is the one that I always reach for. So that was a very quick, easy, well, not easy, but a quick, short video to go over my top 6 foundations. And if you like this video and you want to see more of these types of top 5s, I can certainly do that. I can do lipsticks and mascaras and powders and all those things. Please comment below and let me know if that's something you're interested in having me do. And as always, I want to hear your comments. If there's things that you want me to focus on, if there's reviews that you'd like me to do, certainly let me know. You can hit like and subscribe below. That helps grow my channel. But if you don't feel like doing that, that's fine. I'm just glad that you were able to share this time with me today. And thanks so much. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.